Have you ever felt as if small monsters called vices were trying to control your actions? Maybe wanting to eat just one more candy, spending hours on social media, or not being able to stop playing video games. Indeed, even Marcus Aurelius, with all his power and wealth, faced these monsters. He could have had everything he wanted, whenever he wanted, but he knew that giving in to these desires could lead him down a dark and lonely path, far from being the great leader he wanted to be. Imagine, even being the most powerful man in the world, he chose to fight these monsters to find true happiness and peace. Today, we will embark on an incredible adventure through the world of Stoicism, guided by none other than Marcus Aurelius, a true emperor of ancient Rome. Before we dive into our incredible content today, go ahead and follow the channel. That way, you'll stay informed about all our Stoic teachings, tips, and discussions on how to make each day more special and full of purpose. Don't miss the chance to be part of our community. Accessibility of Stoicism. Imagine Stoicism as a hidden treasure that everyone can find, no matter who they are or where they come from. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or a little, whether you're from a rich place or a poor one, whether you're tall or short, or anything like that. This treasure, called Stoicism, is like a magic key that can help anyone feel happier and stronger inside, better dealing with everyday problems. It's like a special tool in a game, available in the menu for all players, ensuring that everyone can have an equal chance to succeed in the game of life. Historical examples. Imagine two very different characters from an epic story. The first is Epictetus, who lived a very difficult life as a slave. He worked hard every day and had no freedom to choose what he wanted to do or where he wanted to go. But Epictetus had something special. He knew Stoicism, a powerful way of thinking that helped him feel strong and calm inside, even when things outside were tough. Over time, he used this inner strength to change his life, gaining his freedom and becoming a great teacher of this way of thinking. The second character is Marcus Aurelius, who was like a king, in fact, an emperor, the head of one of the world's largest empires. He had everything he could want: wealth, power, and respect. However, Marcus Aurelius chose to use Stoicism to guide his actions. He wrote a diary about facing problems with courage and kindness, always trying to be fair and good, even having the power to do practically anything he wanted. These two characters, Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, show that no matter whether you start with much or little, Stoicism can help anyone grow inside, face challenges, and seek to be a better person. They prove that this hidden treasure, Stoicism, is truly for everyone, helping each person find their own path of courage and wisdom. Combating vices. Both Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius faced many challenges in their lives, but one of the toughest was combating vices. Vices can be many things, such as an excessive desire for money, power, pleasure, or even the habit of always wanting to control everything and everyone. Using the principles of Stoicism, they learned to recognize these vices and worked hard not to let these desires dominate their actions. For them, it was important to have control over their own minds and emotions. For example, instead of giving in to lust or greed, they practiced moderation and focus on what really mattered, their virtues and higher goals in life. This doesn't mean they never felt desire or temptation, but they learned to pause and think before acting, choosing the path that kept them true to their values. This mental and emotional discipline helped them live more meaningful and satisfying lives. They believed that by controlling their impulses and vices, they could achieve true inner freedom. This freed them to follow their true passions and fulfill their responsibilities more effectively and ethically, promoting not just their own well-being, but also that of the people around them. This approach to combating vices is a powerful example of how we can use Stoicism to face and overcome personal challenges in a constructive and positive way. Acceptance and indifference. One of the great lessons that Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius taught us is about the importance of accepting and being indifferent to things that are beyond our control. They understood that many situations in life, such as the weather or the actions of others, cannot be controlled by us, and worrying about them only causes unnecessary stress and anxiety. They practiced the art of focusing only on what they could influence, such as their own actions and decisions. For example, they knew they could not decide whether it would rain or be sunny, but they could choose how to prepare for any weather. Similarly, they could not control what other people thought or did, but they could decide how to react to those behaviors. This ability to distinguish between what is and what is not under our control is crucial for maintaining peace of mind and a balanced life. By practicing acceptance and indifference in the face of uncertainties and the behaviors of others, Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius managed to live more freely and less disturbed by the ups and downs of life. This is a valuable skill that Stoicism offers, helping us navigate the complexities of life with greater serenity and effectiveness. Personal control. One of the central ideas of Stoicism, which Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius diligently practiced, is that each of us has total control only over our own wills, intentions, and actions. This means that, regardless of what happens around us, the way we react to these situations is always under our control. They emphasize the importance of being responsible for how we respond to life's challenges and opportunities. For example, if someone treats us poorly, we may not have control over that person's behavior, but we have the choice of how we will respond, whether with anger and frustration or with understanding and patience. This focus on personal control is liberating because it allows us to be the masters of our own lives. Instead of feeling like a leaf blown by the wind, subject to the storms of external circumstances, we can be like the captain of a ship, consciously deciding how to navigate, even in turbulent seas. This approach helps us live more deliberately and in alignment with our deepest values, providing a sense of peace and purpose, regardless of external conditions. Are you enjoying the video? Then hit that like button. It really helps the channel and shows me that you're enjoying the content. And remember, your like is a huge support for us to keep bringing more videos like this. Rational nature. We are all born with the ability to think and make rational choices, and this is a fundamental point of Stoicism that Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius practiced and taught. They believed that our rational nature is what allows us to control our emotions and reactions, which is essential for living a virtuous and happy life. They taught that, instead of reacting impulsively to situations or letting our emotions take over, we can use our minds to think about the best actions to take. For example, if we are feeling angry or sad, instead of letting these feelings control us and possibly leading us to say or do things we might regret, we can stop, breathe, and think about why we are feeling this way and how we can handle it in a more positive and helpful manner. This ability to use reason to control our feelings and behaviors is what helps us build a more stable and content life. It's like having a superpower that allows us to see above the clouds of emotions and clearly see the path ahead. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius showed that, by developing and trusting our rational nature, we can face any challenge with confidence and serenity, making decisions that are good for us and for others around us. Lifestyle of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, even as an emperor with unlimited access to power and luxury, chose to live his life guided by Stoicism. He could have used his status to indulge in every kind of excess and indulgence, but instead, he opted for a life of moderation and self-control. This does not mean that he did not enjoy pleasures or that he denied himself all the good things that an emperor's life could offer. Instead, Marcus Aurelius used his power and resources thoughtfully and responsibly. He strived not to let temporary pleasures distract him from his greater responsibilities and his commitment to the well-being of his empire and his people. His approach to life as an emperor is a powerful example of how we can use our positions and resources to do good, rather than just satisfy our personal desires. Marcus Aurelius showed that, even at the height of power, it is possible to live a life of virtue and integrity, focusing on what really matters, the pursuit of the common good and ongoing personal development. Self-discipline. Stoicism teaches that to live a virtuous and meaningful life, we need to discipline our feelings and behaviors. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily, training themselves not just to resist harmful temptations and impulses, but also to cultivate habits and reactions that reflected their deepest values. Self-discipline is not just about avoiding doing bad things, it's also about actively choosing to do what is right and beneficial, even when it is difficult. For example, it might be tempting to spend an entire day watching TV, but choosing to study or work on a personal project is an act of self-discipline that brings long-term benefits. This constant practice of self-discipline helps to shape a strong character and a life that is not just reactive to external circumstances, but actively built around ethical principles and meaningful goals. For Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, self-discipline was the key to maintaining internal freedom and serenity, allowing them to face any challenge with courage and clarity. The danger of vices. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius understood well how vices can be seductive, promising immediate pleasure or relief from discomforts, but in the long run, they bring negative consequences and deteriorate the quality of life. They taught that even seemingly harmless vices, such as procrastination or spending too much time on social media, can become traps that prevent us from reaching our true potential and living a full and meaningful life. For example, a simple habit like checking your phone several times an hour might seem harmless, but it can distract from important tasks, reducing productivity and the ability to concentrate. Another example would be the habit of eating fast food regularly, which may offer momentary comfort but harms long-term health. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of being aware of these behavior patterns and taking conscious steps to change them. They showed that by resisting vices and choosing actions aligned with higher values, people can not only avoid the pitfalls of fleeting pleasures but also build a solid foundation for a truly happy and virtuous life. Prevalence of vices. Vices often start as small habits that seem harmless but can grow and become significant obstacles to our well-being and personal development. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius knew that these habits, such as venting stress through impulsive shopping or constantly using the internet to escape reality, can become vices that imprison us. They taught that it is essential to always be vigilant about our daily behaviors and question whether they are helping us grow or just keeping us comfortable in our comfort zones. For example, constant complaining might seem like a way to release frustrations, but it can actually reinforce a negative view of life and prevent the pursuit of constructive solutions. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius encouraged the practice of regular self-examination, reflecting on our actions and choices, to ensure that we are living in a way aligned with our higher values and not being driven by subtle vices that can limit our happiness and success. Consequences of vices. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius deeply understood how vices, even the small and seemingly harmless ones, can have devastating long-term consequences. They taught that by indulging in fleeting pleasures and harmful behaviors, we are, without realizing, building a path that leads to moral ruin and dissatisfaction. For example, a shopping addiction might offer a sense of momentary happiness when acquiring something new, but it often leads to financial problems and a persistent feeling of never having enough. Similarly, reliance on social media approval might initially seem to validate our existence, but in the long run, it can erode our self-esteem and our ability to appreciate real life and authentic relationships. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius warned that it is crucial to be conscious of daily choices and their future impacts. They advocated a life guided by reason and virtue, where each decision is considered in relation to its lasting effects, not just immediate pleasure. This approach not only avoids the suffering caused by vices, but also promotes a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. The role of self-discipline. Self-discipline is a central theme in Stoicism, and both Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius considered it essential for a virtuous and fulfilled life. They believed that by cultivating self-discipline, people can effectively combat vices and maintain a healthy balance in their lives. For example, resisting the temptation to procrastinate and choosing instead to complete an important task is a form of self-discipline that brings immediate and long-term benefits, such as the satisfaction of achieving goals and improving self-efficacy. Similarly, opting for a healthy diet and regular exercise instead of succumbing to the pleasures of fast food and inactivity can not only improve physical health, but also strengthen willpower and control over other areas of life. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius showed that self-discipline is like a muscle that strengthens with constant use. It acts as an ally in the fight against vices, helping to maintain focus on long-term goals and to live according to one's own ethical and moral principles, even in the face of challenges and temptations. The dichotomy of control and Stoicism. One of the most important lessons that Stoicism offers us is the understanding of the dichotomy of control, which simply means distinguishing between what is and what is not under our control. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius applied this concept in their lives to focus their energies on areas where they could truly make a difference, while peacefully accepting aspects of life that were beyond their reach. For example, they understood that they could not control the opinions of others, the outcome of external events, or the behavior of people around them, but they could control their own responses to these events, their actions, and their attitudes. This freed them to invest their energy in a productive manner, focusing on improving themselves and responding appropriately to life's situations. This approach not only reduced the frustration and stress caused by trying to control the uncontrollable, but also allowed for greater peace of mind and personal effectiveness. By living according to the dichotomy of control, they maximized their positive impact on things they could actually influence, while maintaining internal serenity in the face of life's uncertainties. Continuous self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius is often remembered for his journal, later published as Meditations, in which he wrote personal reflections to maintain and seek dignified and virtuous conduct. He used writing as a tool for self-examination and continuous self-improvement, focusing on resisting vices and cultivating virtues. For example, he would analyze his daily actions, ponder his mistakes and successes, and strive to better understand his motivations and emotions. This process of introspection helped Marcus Aurelius stay aligned with his Stoic ideals, even amid the pressures and temptations that his status as emperor inevitably brought. The practice of writing about oneself and reflecting on one's experiences was a way for Marcus Aurelius to discipline himself and ensure he was making the best possible use of his power and influence. This commitment to self-criticism and continuous improvement is a central aspect of Stoicism, showing how self-awareness and personal responsibility are essential for living a full and virtuous life. Long-term struggle against vices. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius understood that overcoming vices is not a process that happens overnight, but rather a long and challenging journey. They knew that vices, whether large or small, can have deep roots and require constant effort and dedication to overcome. For example, quitting a smoking habit or reducing dependency on social networks requires more than just the desire to change. It necessitates creating new routines and consciously and deliberately facing the situations that trigger these behaviors. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus showed that it is crucial to recognize the triggers of vices, understand their consequences, and develop strategies to replace them with healthier habits. This approach not only helps combat vices but also promotes broader personal growth, as by facing and overcoming these challenges, individuals strengthen their character and gain a greater understanding of themselves and their capabilities. The fight against vices, therefore, is not just about avoiding negative behaviors, but about building a more authentic and meaningful life. We learn much about how Stoicism, an ancient idea, can still help us be better people. Remember Epictetus, the former slave, and Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, who, despite living such different lives, used Stoicism to combat their vices and live more happily and controlled lives. That's the end of another video. If you liked it, share it with your friends and let's spread these positive ideas around. Oh, and don't forget to leave your comment below. I want to know what you think and how these tips can help you in practice. Let's interact and grow together.